Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we are looking at the 1987 release by Dapol from their Doctor Who series of action figures and playsets. And these particular figures we're looking at, or this particular figure we're looking at today, is of Melanie Bush, as played by Bonnie Langford in the 1987-88 series of Doctor Who. She was the first companion to accompany the Seventh Doctor, and also the last companion to accompany the Sixth Doctor, in actual fact. And there was two variants of Melanie produced, one of them in a pink shirt and one of them in a blue shirt. As you can see in front of us, we've got both of them available, and they're both here, and we're looking at them both today. Okay, so these is the card that they come. Now the cards are exactly the same. There's no differences on the cards. You just separate them a little bit, as you can see. So front of the card, and it says Doctor Who, and you've got the TARDIS in the bubble, which was, as was seen in the opening title sequences from the Sylvester McCoy era of Doctor Who. And then you can see an image of Melanie Brown, as portrayed by Bonnie Langford, as she appeared in the TV series. And it says Mel, the last companion of the Sixth Doctor and the first companion of the Seventh. And you've got the Dapol logo at the bottom, and you can see both figures in the bubbles, one in pink shirt, one in blue shirt. Okay, that's the front of the cards. I'm just going to turn the cards around and let's have a look at what we got on the back. Okay, so I've turned the two cards around and they're pretty much exactly the same, apart from one's got a barcode sticker on it. Other than that, it's again, you've got the TARDIS in the bubble, as seen in the opening title sequences from the Sylvester McCoy era of Doctor Who. It says Doctor Who from Dapol, and you got the Doctor, a Time Lord from Gallifrey, Mel, the last companion of the Sixth Doctor and the first companion of the Seventh, the Tetrap, the first monster to encounter the Seventh Doctor, the TARDIS, time and relative dimensions in space, the Doctor's time machine, K9, the Doctor's personal robot dog computer, and the TARDIS control console. And then you at the bottom, you got the copyright information, BBC 1987, licensed by BBC Enterprise Limited. The Tetrap is copyright BBC and Pip and Jane Baker, and there's Dapol, Winsford in Cheshire. Okay, so that is the back of the card. Let's turn the cards back round and have a good look at the figures themselves. Okay, so I've turned the cards around and I've zoomed in on the figures themselves, and you can see I've also kept the image of Bonnie Langford up there, who played Melanie Bush, just so that you can see the facial sculpting and see whether it is that particular good, really. And to be honest with you, it's not. The facial features are not that great, to be fair. Obviously they've got the ginger hair or orange hair on the figures, so yeah, it's not quite, it doesn't really look like her, to be perfectly honest with you. You only know it's her because of the ginger hair. And a bit surprised why they chose to do one with a blue top on. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because in the episode she was in the pink top the whole time. So and obviously the pink top, they've just made it as just a complete pink top without the stripes on it. So again, don't quite understand why they've done that, but it's not quite true to the episodes on the TV series, but hey ho, that's the way it is. Now, as these figures are still sealed in the card, I can't actually show you these, but I do have from my collection one of the Fourth Doctor, a figure of the Fourth Doctor from the Dapol series, and they're all the same size figures, so we can get to see their movements and the size wise. So I just want to measure them first. So you're looking at what are we looking at there? 10 centimeters tall, and we're looking at a width wise of 4 centimeters. That's across from hand to hand. And depth wise, we're around about 2 centimeters deep. So that gives you an idea of the size of each figure, because they are all the same size figures. Articulation wise, well, you've got the movable head that goes from side to side. You've got the top of the arm, which moves, and you've got the elbow, which moves, and that happens as on both sides. The good thing about the top of the arm is it moves out as well as up and down. So very good articulation on the tops of the arms. Leg wise, well, not so good. It's just up and down. There's no side-to-side movement or spinning movement. And the same with the knee joints, they're just up and down. Again, no movements. There's no articulation on the feet and no articulation on the hands. The best articulation on these figures are actually the arms. So that is the extent of the articulation. Now, I say these figures were released in 1987, which was when Dapol was granted the license to produce the figures for the 25th anniversary. So the 25th anniversary was 1988. So they had all this time to produce these figures to tie in with that big anniversary of Doctor Who. And there was quite a few episodes that were produced that year with Sylvester McCoy. Silver Nemesis was one of the big ones of that year, and Remembrance of the Daleks was another one. So, yeah, there was a lot of episodes that coincided with the history of Doctor Who. And obviously then they produced all these figures to coincide again with that history. So it wasn't just the current figures that were produced for the TV show. They also produced a lot of backlot figures. So and the Fourth Doctor, the Third Doctor, Second and First Doctors, there was a lot of the previous monsters. Ice Warriors were one, Daleks, of course, Cybermen, and a few others. There's also obviously modern ones like the Tetrap was also produced. And this, I say, that was all for the 25th anniversary, released in 87, and this was series 1. They then went on to produce a second series, which was in 1989, which was series 2, and then they were supposed to do a third series in 1991. However, they had a fire at the factory, and they lost a lot of the moulds, which got burnt. So the next batch of figures wasn't actually released until 1996. Which is nearly 10 years on from the time when they were granted the license. And that was the last wave of figures that they did. After that, they just produced some sets, I think right up until the early 2000s, just before the new television series went into production, when the license expired. And obviously then the rest is history. It was given to character auctions, and that's all a different story. Okay, so how well did these figures do? Yeah, well, they done pretty well for what they were, to be fair. They were only sold through specialist shops. I mean, Dapol was originally, a model train manufacturers, and they sell their products through specialist outlets, and that's the way they went with the Doctor Who merchandise that they produced. It was all done through special, specialized outlets, so places like Forbidden Planet, Galaxy 4, those kind of places were the ones that had the merchandise and were selling the merchandise. So it wasn't a great exposure. You could, if you went to Doctor Who exhibitions, so if you went to the Longley exhibition, you could pick up a later Dapol product. And the same if you went to Blackpool to the exhibition on Golden Mile, you could pick up lots of merchandise. And really any of the exhibitions or the travelling exhibitions, you could find the merchandise. But that was it, really. Back in 1987, the internet was not around, or barely around. It was certainly in its very, very infancies at that stage, and there was certainly nobody selling their products on the internet. You could, however, send away for a mail order catalogue, write to Dapol, and they would send you a mail order catalogue, and you could fill in the order form, send off your postal order or your cheque, and 28 days later you would receive your order. But that was it, and most of that was limited to the United Kingdom. Of course, if they had the internet up and running like it is now, I'm sure it would have been a different kettle of fish. I think they would have just sold out completely. Now, these figures were a limited run. They didn't make massive quantities of them. But overall, I think for what they did, what they made, they sold. In general, I think they've done fairly well with them. So just a shame that they wasn't available in mainstream shops, because they would have sold much more, and would have had a much bigger market. But that was not the way they choose to go. However, now we're talking, what we're talking, 87. We're talking 30 37 years on now. Yeah, 37 years on. Finding these figures in these mint sealed condition is very, very difficult indeed. You can pick some of these figures up on the platforms. A lot of them are up there still and loose, played with, used, or what have you. But you don't see a great deal anymore in the original packet sealed and in mint condition as these are. But as usual, we at Midas Touch have managed to find a few, and they're currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It takes you straight to the website, and you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Doctor Who items and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes to the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive you're not going to want to miss this, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be the item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on these particular items. I do hope you've enjoyed this very short video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.